Everyone knew this Spurs team was going to terrorize the West for years, but this early? Oh man, that is the exact sentiment echoing across the entire basketball world right now. Welcome to The Explainer. If you've been following the NBA, you're well aware we literally just witnessed a seismic shift in the league's landscape. The San Antonio Spurs, driven by this remarkably young core, just toppled the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder in an absolutely grueling 7-game Western Conference Finals series. But the sheer shock of this modern-day miracle, it goes way deeper than just a simple upset. Because what's truly fascinating here is that, we've actually seen this exact movie play out before. Today, we're diving into a parallel rivalry. We're going to examine how the Spurs and the Thunder just echoed their own history, bridging the gap between a legendary clash over a decade ago and the stunning changing of the guard we just witnessed in 2026. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. First up, a stunning Game 7. Then, echoes of the past. Clash of the superstars, the unsung bench heroes, the fan fallout, and finally, a dynasty reborn. Section 1. A stunning Game 7, the modern miracle. So, the immediate aftermath of this 2026 series finale left fans and analysts alike completely speechless. Just look at the top-line stats from this 111-103 Game 7 victory. The Thunder's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander poured in a heroic 35 points and 9 assists, but man, it just wasn't enough. On the Spurs side, Victor Wembanyama anchored the team with 22 points, 7 boards, and a couple of massive blocks, right alongside Julian Champagnie's 20 points. I mean, really think about that for a second. The so-called baby Spurs literally just walked into a Game 7 and eliminated the defending champions. It was an absolute battle of attrition, and somehow the younger team survived it. Section 2. Echoes of the Past, 2014 Game 6. Let's move to and see how this builds context. To really appreciate the current dynamic, we got to take a look at this box score from Game 6 on May 31, 2014. Back then, it was the veteran Spurs eliminating a powerhouse Thunder team, 112-107 in overtime to advance to the finals. You had Tim Duncan putting up 19 points and 16 rebounds for San Antonio, just completely neutralizing the incredible firepower of the Thunder, who saw Russell Westbrook drop 34 points and Kevin Durant score 31. It's crazy, right? The jerseys are exactly the same, the stakes are exactly the same, but the generations have entirely flipped. Section 3. Clash of the Superstars, Generational Battles. In 2026, this entire 7-game war was really defined by an unbelievable statistical duel between two MVP candidates. Victor Wembanyama was an absolute force of nature. He averaged 28.1 points, 13.2 rebounds, and a staggering 3.7 blocks per game. Unbelievable. But on the other side, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander countered with 28 points and 8.2 assists a night. It was just an absolute battle of dominance between two franchise pillars, both of them doing everything in their power to will their teams to victory. But okay, here is where those parallels we talked about diverge into a pretty stark contrast. Back in that 2014 elimination game, the Thunder's superstar duo actually delivered together. Durant had 31 points, Westbrook had 34. They totally shared the heavy lifting. Now, flash forward to 2026, Gilgeous-Alexander shows up with 35 points, but his co-star, Chet Holmgren, completely vanished, scoring just 4 points. 4! That heavily lopsided modern performance from OKC's stars became the fatal flaw that San Antonio ruthlessly exploited. Section 4. The Unsung Bench Heroes, X Factors. Now, while the superstars always grab the headlines, in both eras, surprising role players were the actual difference makers, and this brilliantly illustrates that point. In 2014, the Spurs' X factor was Boris Diaw. He came off the bench to score a team-high 26 points, shooting an incredibly efficient 8 for 14. Fast forward to 2026, and Julian Champagnie mirrored that exact legendary performance. Champagnie, who is an undrafted player making the league minimum, by the way, played 38 minutes and dropped 20 critical points, sinking 6 three-pointers. He was the Game 7 killer the Thunder simply did not plan for. But Champagne definitely wasn't alone. The modern Spurs supporting cast was just relentless. Keldon Johnson comes off the bench for 11 points, proving exactly why he won 6th Man of the Year. Stephon Castle added 16 points and 6 assists. Dylan Harper chipped in a super tough 12 points and 7 boards. And man, we absolutely have to mention Luke Kornet. When Wemby had to sit with 5 fouls, everyone was wondering, how are the Spurs going to survive? Instead, Kornet steps up and literally obliterates Isaiah Hartenstein's dunk attempt in what fans are calling the most important game-saving play of the entire series. No way around it, that was huge.
Section 5. The fan fallout Reddit reacts.
Naturally, a dramatic Game 7 finish like that sets the internet on fire. So, the crucial point is 2. Yep, 2. That is the number of field goals Chet Holmgren attempted in Game 7. 2 shots in a winner-take-all game to go to the NBA Finals. The fan outrage? Oh, it was immediate, and it was unforgiving. As one fan on Reddit so bluntly pointed out, paying a player $240 million only to watch him put up 2 field goal attempts and finish with 4 points and 4 rebounds is a really tough pill to swallow. Fans were quick to note that for a guy carrying all-star, all-NBA, and all-defensive team accolades, disappearing like this in a Game 7 was, in their words, a pathetic no-show where he looked, quote, scared for his life. Ouch. But, the internet being the internet, the roasting didn't stop at just analyzing his stats. Fans bestowed some incredibly brutal but admittedly creative nicknames during the fallout. Calling a professional athlete Ozempic Abraham Lincoln after a 4-point dud is exactly the kind of strategic comic relief and, let's be honest, ruthless toxicity you expect from a Game 7 postgame thread. It just highlights how unbelievably high the emotions were running for Thunder fans who fully expected a repeat championship.
Section 6. A dynasty reborn, what's next?
As the smoke finally clears from the roast of the Thunder, the rest of the NBA really has to wake up to a looming reality. Fans are already setting the stage for the finals, and the consensus out there is crystal clear. Spurs versus Knicks is going to be absolute cinema. The whole basketball world is basically bracing for a highly toxic, wildly entertaining, and incredibly physical matchup. The Spurs have proven they can win a total war of attrition, and playing in Madison Square Garden for a title, that is going to be nothing short of a blockbuster event. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought for today's explainer. Back in 2014, the Spurs beating the Thunder was the crowning achievement of a fully established dynasty. But in 2026, the Spurs beating the Thunder looks terrifyingly like the beginning of a brand new one. With history repeating itself so clearly, the question isn't just about who wins the finals this year. It's really about whether this new generation of San Antonio Spurs is destined to own the league for the absolute foreseeable future. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.